Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you with your Crimson Carta dab of the day. Hello, everybody. What about this? You have multiple things going on that you deal with effectively. You deal with it, frankly, top down. The most aggressive, the most painful, the one that's gnawing at you the worst, you do first. Well, do you have another thing that's serious, painful, stressful? Yes, you do. Well, you compartmentalize that one too and get to a better place and you move on. Wait, do you have an argument with someone that inflames your pain, makes you stressed out all over the place, and no matter what happens, you just can't seem to get it where you can calm down? You know what? Finally, you work that one out. Move on. So, you move on. But it's looking a little bit like a porcupine. That's the time we're going to start calling it the porcupine. Quills eat their, anything around them because they're sharp. But you know what? If you deal with porcupine quills, one at a time, and you move on, you may be able to handle it. Unfortunately, what happens is that people don't see it this way. People don't understand that the crazy amount of things going on in their lives, the overwhelming assault we take, the constant pain, for example, I'm in, the constant stress we all have. Well, guess what? If we looked at it and took it like one porcupine, damn sharp, stick you in the finger, really hurt you if it gets anywhere else, at a time, they can maybe handle it one at a time and move on and get some peace. This is not going to solve things that can be handled only surgically. Not going to solve world peace. But if we think about things like the porcupine, we can think about a different perspective on something that we all know about. We all know about this one. It's the difficulty that we have with the crazy amount of shit that goes on. We are the whirling dervishes. Think of it. The whirling dervishes, okay? We're the people with those flowing fabric things dancing all over the place. We're the plate jugglers with 12 plates, okay? We're the circus champion jugglers. Or at least we're very good layman jugglers. The point is that unfortunately, what happens is people don't see it. They don't understand it. That the crazy amount of things going on in their lives really is just taking them from one porcupine quill to the next. Think about it. So if you isolate the tip of that porcupine quill, one quill, deal with it, smother it, take the tip off of it so it's not as sharp, and move on, maybe you can get some peace. Not going to solve things all over the place. But what it's going to do is it's going to help us feel better about ourselves. Think about this one. We didn't come out of the womb, go through adolescence, and learn how to juggle. We learn how to do things focused. We're trained to focus on something, do it well, and then finish and move on. Certain individuals are thrust into complex situations. Complicated, wavy, curvy, angular, different types of things. Certain individuals are not given peace. Okay? Certain individuals, example of me, our lot in life is that we've got to take the same thing. Think about this. That everybody else sees. Okay? Doesn't stick on them. Even though it's got the porcupine quills, for some reason people aren't getting these, okay? Our job is almost like a psychologist, okay? Because what has to happen is all this stuff's out there hitting us, the porcupine quills. It's this big. It's a big mouth. We have to shrink that mouth. Starts out like the top of the funnel. We have to shrink it down at the bottom of the funnel. We have to find a way That's why they're called shrinks, by the way, psychologists, because you go into them with a major amount of problems and they consolidate those problems and you see them differently. So in the world of the porcupine quills, okay, maybe what we want to do is simply take the small tip at the end, whittle it down, and think about each porcupine quill. What is going on? What is the problem on that quill? And if it's something that we can't deal with, clip the quill off. Clip it off. Take the sharp edge of the porcupine quill off. You're going to say, well, gee, Senior Stoner, how do you do that? It'd be nice if we could. You can't. That's the whole problem. Okay? So whether it's a phone call, whether it's a personal interaction, whether it's physical assault on your body, okay? You've got to synthesize things down to where you can figure out what really matters. Every one of those porcupine quills is sharp as a nail, okay? That's not regular life. That's really something that protects that porcupine and doesn't allow anything in. And in our analogy, those porcupine quills, really, they're so sharp, how are you ever going to get a handle on them? The animal has to really stop. You have to have gloves on, and you've got to find a way to get in there and take each quill and handle it one at a time. It ain't easy. When you see that porcupine with its thousands of porcupine quills, you get overwhelmed, and most animals run away. And if the porcupine throws the quills at you, you're hurt. Since we're using porcupine as the analogy, what you've got to think about is that there just aren't a lot of people that know how to deal with porcupines. So when we come full circle in the circle of life, in the circle of pain, what we realize is that now we know what we want to do. We want to treat each one of these situations, isolate them, compartmentalize them, minimize them, deal with them. That's why it's a porcupine quill. It's sharp, it's tough, hard to deal with, but once you do, you can move on to the next. For us, what we've got to remember is that the porcupine can strike at any time. So while you're investigating that one, you're drilling down on that one topic, you cannot lose sight of the others. They are threats also. So it's a complex situation we face. We face it every day. Nothing's going to change that physically for us, but we can change the way we handle it. When those things come at you, treat them like a porcupine quill. Okay? Yes, you're scared of it. Yes, it's sharp and it'll hurt if it gets you. But you can get to them. You can identify and isolate the one that's causing you the worst problem, the biggest threat, and you'll have a chance to help yourself. Let's take a dab. And we're going to do it today with our Crimson Carta. Cleaning out this dab container. Putting a little piece in there for today. Hope everybody has a great day. It's very hot in New Jersey. I'm sure it's hot all over today. Remember, you can be afraid of the porcupine, but there are ways to deal with them. Cheers. Have a great day out there. And remember, we're stronger than the porcupines. Cheers.